Hey Dave, hey Barstool Sports. This is Joe Sierra and Jim Klosterman with Fretboard Brewing Company. We'd like to thank you for the opportunity to thank you for what you're doing for the community in general, the small businesses, bars, restaurants, breweries. We definitely are in a time of need, and your efforts and the efforts of people outside of Congress mean a tremendous amount to all of our businesses across the United States. So we appreciate the opportunity to even sit down and tell you our story a little bit and introduce you to our business. So again, I'm Joe Sierra. I'm one of the founding partners here at Fretboard Brewing Company.
Jim Klosterman, also a co-founder of Fretboard Brewing Company here in Blue Ash. So a little bit about us. We formed our company starting in about 2016 and earlier than that, but was able to launch 2017 primarily as a tap room and microbrewery focused on music and supporting musicians and having live music within the tap room. So part of our mission here is, as musicians ourselves, is to foster the music community, host bands, have live entertainment, and honestly, just, have a good time as musicians ourselves, drinking beer and playing music and enjoying the bands that come in here. So that's what we're all about here at Fretboard. And we've done that for 3 years now. And when the pandemic hit, obviously we were shut down for a little bit. Musicians out of work, nobody, place to play. And when we were able to open, within a week, we had bands back in our door. We were observing the guidelines, the CDC guidelines during that time. But yeah, it's a struggle since the pandemic has taken a toll on places that bands can play. It's taken a toll on our budget. Obviously, tap room's down, things are down here. So, and I'll let Joe talk about a little bit about that, but it's tough booking music nowadays, but bands are still out there looking to play. I get calls all the time, but we are certainly looking for some help.
Absolutely. Well, and Jim alluded to it there. I mean, us, just like everybody else, our tap room revenues have declined 60+%. And, quite honestly, we're asking for this money not for ourselves, but we're asking for this money to maintain having live bands on the stage. For the first time since our brewery has opened, with exception for government-mandated shutdowns, we are open and our stage is dark. And for us, emotionally, for us, the vibe of the company, and more important, for the music community that we support, is a problem. We're not just talking about us. We're talking about every musician that gets on our stage. It's their primary source of income. It's how they're putting food on their tables. And it really saddens us, A, to not have a band on stage, but B, knowing that our inability to put these local musicians and artists on stage is also negatively impacting themselves. We, as a company, since we've opened, we've donated over $30,000 locally. We support local organizations, police, fire. We've got a beer that we collaborated with Bootsy Collins. A portion of that beer goes towards a local foundation, the Bootsy Collins Foundation. And it's vital to who we are in Cincinnati, Ohio. Sorry, we didn't even say we were in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's vital to who we are to support our local community. So for us, our ask of this money is to restore our pre-COVID band budgets. While we did run music the last couple of months, it was at a budget of 50%. So, we've scaled down the live entertainment, and we're looking for an injection into our business to essentially hand right back out to the musicians. So I think our inability to have music, again, impacts those local artists. But, for us, we've kind of reached this point where the tap room kind of does what it's going to do, which is why we made the difficult decision, essentially not to just throw money after bad. The bans aren't really the impact to business that we were seeing. But even so, if we can get a band on stage and it brings 20 more people into the tap room, that's 20 more people tipping our bartenders. So we realize the establishment we built, the trickle-down economics are horrible what's going on right now. So we're asking for this money simply to restore our band budgets, to get people on stage, to support these local artists, to give our bartenders a few more tips in their pocket, and hopefully weather this storm. With no apparent end in sight, our particular situation in Ohio is we're under curfew, so all the businesses have to close at 10 o'clock. And so this in our region's not limited to just us, right? All the bars and restaurants, all these indie venues that booked bands, that had live music, they, because of restrictions and because of what's going on that's out of our control, they're canceling these bands. These bands aren't getting gigs. The whole music and cultural arts scenes have been shut down. And as you guys know, these are like contractors that own their own businesses. They don't qualify for PPP. They can't get a loan. They can't get their labor subsidized by the government in any way, shape, or form. So this is our ask to you to bring some of that to us so we can help these people out.
Yeah, and that goes for even our sound engineers that work here, particularly one young gentleman that works here. He runs a studio. He's lost work. He does studio work, but he's lost work just on his own business. And then this was part of his, his income was coming up here and running sound, and we'd pay him a pretty decent price to come in, and we had to cut his pay. And then, if I don't have a band or I only have an acoustic act some night, because normally we have full bands, but now with an acoustic act, I don't need a sound person all the time. I don't, so he's losing out on money too. So it's not just the musicians, it's the people behind the scenes as well.
Absolutely. So with that, we encourage you and everybody to check us out. Yeah. We're Fretboard Brewing Company. We're located in Cincinnati, Ohio, a little northern town by the name of Blue Ash. Yep. And we hope you take our request into consideration. And again, we just thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for everything that you're doing for our industry and everything across the United States.
Absolutely. Thanks much.
All right, thank you and good night. Thank you.
Thank you very much.